Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another episode. This is going to be a little bit of a different look if you can't tell. Always a struggle for me to get binders on film and in frame properly. So we're trying something a little different. We are in the basement today, the recently flooded basement at Shoebox Legends World headquarters. I have this sort of older antique table that I inherited from my parents after the basement flood. Clip my phone into this, and I think this should work okay. It's a little bit of a struggle to keep the whole binder in frame, but this is going to be an updated look at my Buyback Franken-set. And this is a project that I started years back as sort of a fun way to enjoy Topps buybacks and bring some organization and sanity to them. And we're going to kind of go over my process and in turn look at the status of the Franken-set in today's video. So I have a small stack here of about 10 buybacks. We're going to go through these one at a time, but these are from various Topps buyback promotions over the years. I don't discriminate. I'll take any buyback as a potential candidate for the Franken-set. What is the Franken-set? Well, I did a video on this about a year ago, but in case you missed it or I didn't know you back then, this is my attempt to collect 792 buybacks that are numbered 1 through 792 in order in the binder. But other than card number, the card itself in any pocket can come from any buyback set that Topps released in any year. So I have enough sheets in this binder as we open it up to hold a complete 792 card set. Get this adjusted a little bit. And basically the cards are just in order by number. So, this is a buyback number 1, 2, 3. These are, obviously these first 4 actually are all from the 1990 Topps set, featuring those Nolan Ryan 5,000 strikeout tribute cards that were at the beginning of the checklist. So this is my first page, and as you can see, I do have cards number 1 through 9 done already. There are pages that are missing pockets. I have not yet completed the Franken-set. But the way that it works is we take these buybacks one at a time anytime I get a new batch in or I want to process some, and I'll just see if they make the checklist. So we have this Terry Pendleton that we'll start with courtesy of ComC. This was originally a 1988 Topps Pendleton and was included in the 2017 Topps Rediscover buyback program. You can see the stamp there. So what we do is we look at the card number, in this case 635. Place that to the side for a second, and we go to spot 635 in the binder. And the way that'll work is if that spot is unoccupied or open, then obviously that card will go right into the Franken-set. If there's already a card in slot 635, there'll be sort of a battle between those two cards, and whichever one I like the most will make the release. So here is the page in question. And if my math is correct, this Joe Rudy 1978 in the middle of the page is card 635. And we can confirm that on the back here. So in this case, I have to choose between keeping Joe Rudy in the Franken-set or putting this Terry Pendleton from 88 Topps in there. I don't really think there's any reason for me to bump Joe Rudy for Terry Pendleton, so I'm going to leave that as it is, and Pendleton will go off into my box of rejected extra buybacks. So this is obviously, this binder has grown a lot over the years. It's been a labor of love, probably since about 2015 is when I started this off, and still not done yet despite many buyback purchases over the years. So let's do another card here. This one is from the 2014 Topps 75th anniversary buyback program. You can tell that based on the silver stamp there in the upper right. And this is an Angels team card from 75 Topps. It's been checked off the checklist by an aspiring collector back in the 70s, probably. Card 236. So I'll set that one to the side and see how slot 236 is looking. I apologize for any camera shake here. This table is sort of on its last legs, pun intended. All right, so 236 would be top middle. So we have this Tito Fuentes card from 1973 Topps Baseball. Awesome horizontal action shot in slot 236 now. And I don't see a reason, again, to bump that for this Angels card, as cool as it is. So that one failed to make it. Next up, we've got a 67 Cubs Rookie Stars. This is the 2015 Topps buyback program that had the Topps original silver stamp. You can see in the upper right. This is card number 272, so we're not too far off. Let's kind of scroll through here, flip through. Nice Julio Franco. You can see here's an open slot. So this is a card that I am missing. Slot 240, I think that would be. Yep. So I still need a buyback number 240. But there's some really nice stuff throughout this binder. Like here's a Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Famer, with the Rangers on 76 Topps. Here's a Mookie Wilson, 88. 58 Topps Don Miller, which is, I think, the oldest set that you can get. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 57 is the oldest set that you can get a buyback from. Here's another 58, Frank Malzone of the Red Sox. So I've got some neat stuff in here. And the binder, it's never fully complete. It just gets a little bit better and better as, time goes by and more cards bump out other cards, and it just improves over time. Here's a nice Robin Yount from 1980. And if we go to slot 272, that is front at the top here, Jerry Lumpe from the New York Yankees, third baseman. That is a Heritage box topper buyback of this 59 Topps issue. Definitely not going to bump that one out of the binder for this Cubs rookie. So we're 0 for 3 today. Rough start here, but it's just fun to thumb through this no matter what. Here's a Bills Spaceman Lee rookie card in buyback format. That's pretty awesome. Almost every page has something cool at this point. Seattle Pilots buyback. There's a couple highlights that I'll try to flip to if I remember before we cut this off. Next up, we're going to look at card number 349 from 1970 Topps, Steve Hamilton, pitcher for the Yankees. So let's see what we have in slot 349. I think it's going to be the 69 Dick Williams. That is card 349, and I'm definitely not going to replace that great Dick Williams card with this Yankees buyback, so it's another one bites the dust. Here's one that I think I'll have a good chance at making it. This is a 59 Don Zimmer buyback, and it's the 2016 buyback program, which was labeled or stamped as 65th anniversary. So really cool buyback here. Zimmer was a great baseball lifer. Let's see who's in slot 287 and see if we can't get Don Zimmer into the binder here. So here we go. Slot 287 is Jim Harden here on his 1972 Topps design. This is absolutely a case where I will take the Don Zimmer over that. So here we go. Harden just comes out of the binder. Zimmer goes in. Harden can assume the penny sleeve that Zimmer was occupying. And then he'll go off to the, didn't make the Franken-set box on this pile. So that's essentially how it works. I have a few more to go through here today, and we'll look at some other highlights while we do it. Here's a 71 Topps Mike Andrews Rediscover Topps buyback from 2017. Never use Scotch tape on your top loaders. Bad move by the seller there. But this is card number 191. A well-loved copy here of this Mike Andrews. So let's put his floating head down for a second and see how slot 191 looks. And that is going to be Al Fitzmaurice of the Kansas City Royals on the 74 Topps design. I'm going to have to go with the 71 Red Sox card over the 74 Royal. So Fitzmaurice gets the bump. And Mike Andrews is now a member of the Franken-set. Got 4 more to go here. Here's a 59 Topps, another one. This is from the 2014 75th anniversary program. Jim Busby of the Boston Red Sox. A lot of these I've picked up on ComC for like under $1 over the years. Card 185 is in question here. That's going to be this Jim Owens, the middle of the page. Even though I like 59 Topps better than 1960 Topps, and I'll prefer a Red Sox over a Philly usually, I don't have a lot of 1960 Topps buybacks in the binder. I have many more 59s, so I'm going to leave Jim Owens in place, essentially just in the interest of diversity. And this one is going to just miss out. So Jim Busby is off to the reject pile as well. Next up, we've got Al Dark here, manager at the time for the KC Athletics on a nice 66 Topps release. Again, Scotch tape on the top loader. eBay foul there. Let's see what card number this is. 433, so a little bit of a higher number. As you might imagine, the further we get into the binder, the more empty slots there are. Check it out. I got to call this out. But how about Wally Moon's legendary unibrow in buyback format? Gotta love that. Here's some all-star cards, the great Doc Gooden. And we are looking for 433. And that is going to be this Larin LeGros for the Detroit Tigers on the 74 design. I'm liking this Al Dark a little bit better on the 66 with that great KC Athletics uniform. So Larin is out and Alvin Dark is in. There's two more cards here. Here's a great Heritage box topper buyback. This is a Houston Colt 45 card of Bob Bruce. Card number 282. So we've been in this region of the binder before. And that's going to be this Johnny Blue Moon Odom from 1967 Topps. That is a Heritage buyback. As much as I like the Colt 45s and I love the uniform and the hat on this one, I'm going to stick with the Blue Moon Odom. I just really enjoy that card. It's a tough loss there for Bob Bruce. These Heritage buybacks that don't make the cut, like the two that you see here, I actually have a Z folio going of only Topps Heritage box topper buybacks. So these will move into that Z folio. And the last card that I have for today is a star player. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but that's only because of his own poor decision-making during his career. Got this nice season highlight card of Roger Clemens commemorating his 3,000th career strikeout. That is on the 2017 Rediscover program, the silver stamp, and it is card 203. So let's see if this final card can make the set. Certainly a worthy challenger here. And here's the card currently in slot 203. J.R. Richard's NL strikeout record for most strikeouts in a season by a righty. Tough call there. I do think I'm going to go with Clemens over the J.R. Richard. It'll also give me some diversity and variety as I have a 79 record breaker already in the slot right next to this with Ron Guidry. So tough decision there, and this is kind of what happens as the Franken-set matures. You get, tougher and tougher calls to make between really interesting cards. But we're going to go with Roger Clemens here in slot 203 with that record breaker card. Now, I love this Jack Clark down here in front of the Green Monster. Just a lot of cool stuff in here. A couple that I wanted to point out. I think I touched on some of these during the first video that I did, but this earned run average leaders from 1977 Topps is a 1 of 1. It's a little tough to make out. We're zoomed out here, but that is a 1 of 1 buyback. And I do have some others. Here's a Tony Gwynn. Binder is just chock full of stars and Hall of Famers at this point. Gary Carter, the Kid, Tony La Russa, Lou Brock. I mean, page after page of big names. Tom Glavine. It's really started to get impressive over time. This binder spans all the way from 1957 Topps up into like the mid 2010s. I think I even have like some 2012 or 13 buybacks in here. Here's the Crime Dog, Fred McGriff. And I have some really impressive ones like Ken Griffey Jr. on 93 Topps. Just really cool variety. And this was a fun project for me. I didn't know how to make sense out of these buybacks. You're not going to be able to complete a set or a player run or anything like that because they're just too scarce and there's not enough, information out there about them. I think many cards have never been done in buyback format, quite honestly. Here's a Frank Thomas. So coming up with this Franken-set was just a fun way to enjoy these and have some organization try to complete a 792 card set. I didn't do a tally right before the video, but I would assume I'm probably still 100 or so cards away from, finishing this. It'll never be finished in its entirety because there will always be new challengers that I can compare against the cards that are in here. But as far as at least getting all 792 numbers initially represented, I think I'm maybe 100 short of that. Here's a nice bottom row here. Carlton Fisk, the Big Cat, and Phil Niekro. Just awesome. Kirby Puckett, Darryl Strawberry. I mean, this is, like I said, it's been a labor of love for years. I'm missing some key ones, I'm sure, as I kind of flip through here quickly, but just want to give you the overall idea. Here's a Lee Smith, and then we'll finish on this one, maybe the highlight of my whole buyback Franken-set. Front and center here at card number 500. This is the 1975 Topps Nolan Ryan 2016 buyback, which is a 1 of 1. So that's a pretty awesome Nolan Ryan there. It's kind of a centerpiece. I have some other big ones that I haven't even yet evaluated. Here's one more, actually. before we call it a day, check out this Hank Aaron Topps Heritage Box Topper buyback from 61 Topps, the MVP subset card. So that is an updated look at the Buyback Franken-set and my process for sort of filing these away and growing this Franken-set over the years. Hope you enjoyed this. I've had a couple of requests to kind of do an update and show this binder off. So this is where we're at. You can see, here's another hole you can see in the center of this page. I'm certainly not complete. And if and when I get there someday, or perhaps even sooner, I'll do another episode like this. But for today, we'll call it there at the 15 or so minute mark. I hope you enjoyed this look behind the scenes at my Buyback Franken-set and my Franken-set process. Would love to hear from you in the comments if you have any opinions on buybacks or if you've done anything similar in your collecting. I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. And in the meantime, thanks for tuning in and stay safe.